there are not doubles of the 7 of clubs. I was only using one card. The move I'm going to be teaching you today will make you be able to do that trick, and many others. In fact, almost every single trick I know uses the double lift. And that's the trick, or move, I will be teaching you today. The first thing you're going to have to be able to do is get a pinky break under 2 cards, 3 cards, it depends how many cards you want to flip over and pretend it's 1 card. So I'm going to teach you a few methods to do that. What I normally do is what's called a pinky count. I'm not going to teach how to do it, it's pretty complicated, but you can find a tutorial on YouTube of how to do it. Basically what it is I'm counting down cards with my pinky, and it's 2 cards as you can see, and I get a pinky break underneath that. A pinky break again is just you stick your pinky inside a certain amount of packets. It could be where a spectator's card is, it could be anywhere, but in this case you're going to need a pinky break under how many cards you want to flip, in most cases 2. The next method, for beginners, this is the method you're going to want to use. You're going to spread out the cards, and you're going to, when you push them, when you square up the cards again, you're going to grab a break under, you're going to have these 2 cards in your right hand, and push them back together, and while you're doing that, grab a break underneath those 2 cards. Very simple, but very hard to tell that you're doing that. 2 more methods. The next one I'm going to teach you is fairly easy. What you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb on the back edge of the deck, you're going to riffle down through the cards until you get 2 cards. This is going to take muscle memory to be able to know that you've only got 2 cards in your hand, but once you got that, it's pretty easy. And a slight note here, while you're doing that, you're going to want to pretend it's a flourish, so you're going to go through the back, grab a pinky break. So to make it more like a flourish, you're going to do the same thing in the front. This last method I'm going to teach you, I actually learned it pretty recently. I like it a lot. I'm starting to use it now. What you're going to do is you're going to hold a deck in mechanics grip, and what you want the deck to be beveled like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to extend these 3 fingers and push with the base of your thumb like that. And what that's going to do is it's going to bevel the cards. So completely square it up, do that, the cards are now beveled. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your first finger on your right hand. You're going to do the same thing you did with the pinky count, or if you count down with your thumb on the back edge, and you're going to get 2 cards. But then you can immediately go into the double lift. You don't even need a pinky break in that case. That is not that hard to do, but it will still take a lot of practice to be able to get it completely correct, and a lot of muscle memory, and it will take a lot of work. And this is a move that will definitely, this isn't a move you can learn. You're going to always keep on learning this move. You're going to always get better at this move. You can never get perfect at this move. So it's really going to, the more practice you put into it, the better you're going to get, but you're never going to be perfect. So just keep practicing. Now for the actual double lift. Once you have a pinky break under 2 cards, this is the method. And there are many methods, but I'm teaching you one of the most basic ones. And it's also very easy to do, and it looks pretty good actually. So 2 things. This is what not to do. You don't want to grab the card as if it's 2 cards. That is completely terrible. Everybody can tell, and they know they're not dealing with a real magician. What you have to do is you have to be able to, well, what you want to do is you want to push over the card and flip it over as if it's 1 card. So this is just 1 card. So this is what you want to emulate. This is what you want people to think you're doing, but you're actually doing it with 2 cards. So the way you're going to do that, you have a pinky break under 2 cards. With your ring finger, you're going to kind of stick the 2 cards into, like, right below your fingernail, and you're going to then push with your thumb, and it's going to keep the cards together. Then with your right hand, you're going to grab it and flip over the 2 packets, like that. And you can even let it fall. It's sometimes, I wouldn't recommend doing that because it sometimes splits, but if you don't think the audience isn't going to notice, then go ahead and do it. It seems more normal. With enough practice, I'm sure people could do it. I mean, I have seen people do it, but it's pretty difficult to do it. So I usually just set it down instead of letting it drop. But it's just a small difference that doesn't make too much of a difference anyway. So that's what you do. Now, again, what you're going to do is you're going to grab a pinky break. You're going to stick your ring finger into the fingernail of your ring finger onto these 2 packets. These 2 cards are going to go into your nail right there, and you're going to push over with your thumb and keep a lot of pressure, and you're going to get this weird shape where you're going to almost bend the card. It's not going to ruin the card, but it's going to bend it like that. You're then going to take again, you're going to take with your middle finger and your first finger on the back edge and your thumb on this front edge, grab by the corner and flip it over like that. And when you do this, if you're going to flip the packet over again, leave it out jogged in the back. So what it would look like, it looks something like this. And you'd want it to stay on the back. So that way what you can do is you can, instead of having to get another pinky break, you can just immediately grab it from the back and do it. One more method I am going to teach in this video is, I like it a lot. There are a bunch of mistakes I find that people do with it. They do it too often, and what it's called, I'm pretty sure it's called the snap double lift, something like that. It looks something like this, and you can see it makes a little snap when you do that. What you do is you pull down you go through the cards with your thumb, kind of the opposite of a pinky count, and you're going to get 2 cards. This is easier to do. You're then going to take your first finger, stick it in that gap, and push down with your thumb and release with these 3 fingers. And it's going to make a little snap. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but it makes a snap and it creates the illusion, I guess, or a sound illusion, that it really is only 1 card. But when people do this on the first time, it has I would say 9 times out of 10, you can't keep them together. I don't know why, but when you're doing it, they just don't have a tendency to stick together. So what I recommend doing is doing a normal double lift, and then instead of out jogging it in the back like here, you'd out jog it in the front. And then you'd stick your first finger underneath the packet, creating this little bend right there, and make sure to keep pressure with these 3 fingers. And then you're going to push down with your thumb and release those 2 fingers. So that didn't actually work, but it would look something like that. And it's pretty convincing. I find that doing it from there, once you already have a break underneath it and it's already out jogged, it's much easier to do. I can't get it working right now, but it's pretty easy to do in my opinion. It's an extra flourish you can do. I don't do it that often, but it's useful to know how to do it. So it will definitely take a lot of practice. I'm still practicing that move, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed. That's how you do a double lift. So like I said before, you're never going to get perfect at this move. I've been practicing since I've started doing magic. It's always going to get better and better, but you'll never get perfect, so don't get disappointed. Keep on trying. And 9 times out of 10, even if you do mess up the double lift, they won't notice. Most people, and a trick actually I'll teach you right now is, while you're doing a trick or any trick, look at them in the face and talk to them while you're doing any important moves. They will, 9 times out of 10, maybe even more than that, they would look at you too, because I guess it's kind of considered disrespectful not to look at someone when they're talking to you. So they will look at you, and it's super easy to get away with a lot. I do it all the time. So thank you so much. Please subscribe. Thank you.